That wasn't the plan.
Hey, Emily, my goodness.
Hey, Courtney Holland, how you doing?
I'm pretty good, Emily White. I feel
good.
I'm
Hey,
good.
everybody. All our
Hi.
disgruntled listeners, welcome to That Wasn't the Plan.
My mom. Hi, Mom.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom. Thanks for listening, Mom.
My friend Susan, who is our number one fan, she listens
Hell
to
yeah,
every episode.
Susan.
Yeah.
Woo.
Hey, Susan. Well, before we start, I have a very special guest. All of our guests are very special, but this actually happens to be one of my favorite people, in addition to yourself, Courtney Holland, on the
Of
planet.
course.
Her name is
Oh.
Jen Quam Howell. I call her JQ. I think she's
I
just
love
gone
that.
by JQ her entire life.
What a great nickname. God.
I know, she's so rad. She's got a bachelor's degree from Virginia Tech. And then after she graduated, she went to Johnson & Wales University in Denver, where I met her in culinary school. We went to culinary school back in the day together.
Wild.
I know. She's got over 2 decades of experience spanning hospitality, event design, event production, and sales leadership, including senior roles in catering and event firms during her time in Virginia and Denver. She
Hell yeah.
currently is the Assistant Regional Director of Engagement at Virginia Tech Alumni Relations,
Oh,
leading
hey.
alumni engagement and events for Virginia Tech across multiple regions. She is married to a lovely gentleman named Paul Howell for, I'm going to guess, close to 20 years now. And they have 3 very active, lively, swimming alligator boys.
Oh my
They
gosh, you
are
got 3
alligator
boys.
I do.
3 boys.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's just the cutest thing with the best Southern drawl. So welcome to the podcast, JQ.
Yay,
Hi,
JQ.
thanks for
Welcome
having
to
me,
That Wasn't the
guys.
Plan. Woo.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
oh my
So
God,
happy to have you
Thanks
here.
for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes. You're adorable.
You really are perfect.
That was quite an introduction, Emily. I am very impressed.
I was going to name your boys. I know you've got Fisher.
Mhm.
And then as soon as you say the other 2 names, it'll come to me. But
Sully and Ferris.
Sully
Oh
and
my
So,
gosh.
yep. So
right?
just turning 13 is Ferris. Just turned 14 is Sully. And Fisher 16 and a half. So,
Oh my God.
and he is every bit of 16 and a half. We're driving. We're doing all
Girl.
the things.
How
Oh,
are you
boy.
handling that? 3 teenage boys.
It's a really good question. So
You know
I'll
what?
get back to you on that.
Yeah.
I'd like to.
If
got
I know
questions.
anybody, it's JQ who could manage 3 boys.
You know what? I wouldn't know what to do with the girl if she walked in
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Fisher's girlfriend is the first girl that's really been in our house.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it's such a different world. So
Yeah.
I'm thank goodness I had boys. Apparently that was what was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Wow. You're like, I'll raise these. Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Do they, can I ask you, do they clean up after themselves ever?
It is
Asking
rare,
for a friend.
but
Is it? Okay.
sometimes they do. We're still working on that. I pledge to have, independent men when they leave this home. And not
Amen.
boys that are going to be depending on women to do their work for them. So
Well
it's
done.
baby steps, though, like with every year,
Uh-huh.
they get a little bit stronger. But
Can you write a book? Have you written a book? Can I read your book?
I have not.
Courtney's got a house full of men as well.
Well, he has 5 children, and they are, it's as though I birthed them, but I did not. I met them when they were already like over the age of 15. And it's been a wild ride. I'll tell you that much. It's been wild.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Uh-huh.
It's crazy and the jokes are raunchy and I wouldn't have it any other way. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's real fun.
it is. It is.
But you've had some rough times too, I'm sure.
We have indeed, including the one that I'm going to talk about today.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I guess I'll say it. Our house burned down.
What?
Back in 2018.
2018.
Crazy time. Yeah. And actually, we're coming up on the anniversary. It was March the 3rd in 2018. So the irony of talking about this now is that we all have compartmentalized this trauma, into various boxes. And those boxes really start to open as we get closer to March every single year.
Really?
Even when you don't think they're going to, even when you think that you're like, man, I'm so like, I have made massive progress. Our bodies, and my therapist tells me that your body remembers the trauma, right? And it's
Absolutely.
just, it's,
Yep.
it's a cycle.
Mhm.
And I get to this time of year and I start to have the reactions that I have. And so knowing that I
Yeah.
was going to talk to you guys about this today actually was kind of a double-edged sword because I started to really unpack and process again, which I
Right.
hadn't done since probably last year when I packed it all up and tucked it
Put it
away.
away. Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, but in a good way, because like I said, I've compartmentalized it and there's just so many different boxes
Mm.
and I can tap which one and open it up. And there's always like a memory that I hadn't thought about that brings
Mm.
me some joy. There's also
Yeah.
memories that are obviously terrifying.
Yeah.
Um, but
Gosh.
but yeah,
Oh my
it's and
god.
it happens to all of us. Every single person in this house has this cyclical trauma that reappears. And so I'm always on the lookout for it because I'm watching the kids to
Yeah.
see how
Uh-huh.
they're managing at this time of
Mhm.
year and my husband, how he manages. Um
Yeah.
and like, as a mom and as a woman, we're never
Mhm.
usually looking out for how we are going to react, right?
Yeah.
And it sneaks up on me every time.
Mhm.
So, not this year though. I was in
Not this
charge of
year.
my unpacking.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna have you
Yeah.
talk about it right now. This is a therapy session. We're gonna
Yes,
Yeah.
unpack some
ma'am.
Yeah.
shit.
And I love the
Um,
women
Yeah.
we have on here. They've all therapy, therapy, therapy.
Yeah.
oh
Always
yeah.
be in
And
therapy, just always.
we waited too long to start therapy for ourselves. Everything was
Mhm.
about our kids, right? Which is
Of course,
great.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Um, and my therapist has been huge to remind me that we were doing the best we could with what we knew and how to do at the
Yeah.
time, right? Like,
Absolutely.
That's a good
and I'm
therapist.
grateful that we did have them get the help that we've had for them along the way. But yeah,
Right.
everybody needs
Wow.
therapy, especially when they go through something.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
I unfortunately had to quit doing therapy shortly
Uh-oh.
after I was diagnosed with cancer because I couldn't afford it.
Oh,
And I haven't been
yeah.
able to do it since because I can't afford it. I mean, it's
Ugh,
expensive. Yeah, I was going
it
It
once a
is
is.
week. It's
expensive.
$175 a week. I'm sure I can find, a less
You
expensive
can.
therapist.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We're gonna
I
work on
haven't
that, Emily.
I
I
know.
demand.
Well, because
I'll
I
pay for it.
never have really processed what I went through, and it
Yeah.
shows up every day of my life.
Yes.
But yes,
Yes.
so thank you for bringing that up. Folks, this podcast is actually my therapy session, so thank you for tuning in.
No, it is.
Yeah.
Talk therapy is huge. I mean,
100%. Process it out loud.
really.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
like I'm going to therapy and my therapist is like delivering these like life I mean, they are actually life changing, but like it's not some scientific method that it's talking and being like, yeah,
It
you're
is.
human
yeah,
and this
yeah,
is
Mhm.
why you did that. And like give
yeah,
yourself
Yes.
a break. And
yeah,
I haven't been able to afford therapy. Well, that's a really hella good reason, right? So like don't
yeah,
beat
Mhm.
yourself up for it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Don't. I'm not. I'll
you
beat you up
know,
for you.
I leave that to my friends.
Yeah.
right.
All right, well, JQ, set the scene for me. Like,
Yes.
take us back to that night of March 3rd, 2018, or, leading up to
Mhm,
the event. You guys, I happen to know it's at night. So, you guys going to
mhm,
bed, what happened? Everybody's sound
mhm,
asleep, the age of the
mhm.
boys, kind of what your lives were like at that time, working full time, what was going on?
Yeah. So my husband, up until recently, has always been in the restaurant industry, hospitality industry.
God, that's so good.
And so he had later nights, and would come home. And so it was not rare for me to go to bed or him to be on the couch, right? Like on a Saturday night or a Friday night. I believe it was a Friday night. I took the dog out, was heading up to bed, said goodnight, and I had Ferris with me, who was 4 at the time. His birthday is March 7th, so his birthday was approaching. Paul's
Oh,
birthday is also
gosh.
March 5th,
Oh, my
so
God.
that was directly after. So and my husband, at some point in the middle of the night, woke up, and he said it sounded like the house was just arcing. It was just this crazy noise in the home, and he was like, "What is going on?" And when he looked out our front window, um, he looked like the lawn was on fire, but what it was the reflection of our house in the glass window, and the fire alarms had not started to go off yet, but they did at some point, and then But what he realized was the entire front of our house was on fire. From our front door, which is where our stairwell goes up, over to like another front room. And what I recall is him shaking me awake and saying, "The house is on fire. We have to go." And me getting Ferris. And he ran down the hall. At the time, Sully had just turned 6. Fisher was 8, and they were having a sleepover in Fisher's room on the bunk beds.
Oh,
And Paul got them off the bunk beds, and we met at the top of the stairs. And by this point, the fire was very much so right in our face, like at the bottom of the stairs.
Holy
Um,
smokes.
the door was obliterated, right? It was there. And we went down very carefully. I had Ferris. The little boys were right with me. Paul was behind him. We edged around the banister and we went straight out to our deck and down into the yard out the back. And it was about that time that we realized that we didn't have our dogs, that they
Oh
were
God.
they were here. They were in the bedroom. And we stood there and we had a moment of what do we do? And I told my husband, you can't go back because uh, you can't. And this is going to sound completely ridiculous, but that show, This Is Us, was on at the time. And they had just had that episode with the fire. And the husband
Mhm.
had gone back in and ended up dying because his like
oh,
had,
right.
Yeah.
and in my head, I was like, he could go in and
Yeah.
take too much smoke and die. He might not ever come
Faint.
back
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, by this point, there were people in our front yard. There was actually a group of like teenagers who were, I don't know, were driving around. It was like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the
Oh,
morning. And they were one of them was one of the first ones to call 911.
Oh, that's scary.
And, um, and we were like, okay, well, the fire department will be here any second and they'll get the dogs. Right.
yeah.
And the next sort of hour is just a big blur. Um, and I've done a lot of trying to process this with my therapist of where were the kids? Were they with me? Did I have them in my hands? Were they
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like by themselves in the middle of the front lawn? Like, no, I had them. Ferris was
Mhm.
small. He was attached to me. Um, where were my clothes? Like, did I have clothes on? Like, there's so many like
Yeah.
pieces that are just still a mystery. Um, at some point, the our neighbors across the street who were like just lifesavers during all of this brought me some shorts or pants or something, I think.
You weren't wearing
Um,
Does she
clothes,
sleep
God bless.
naked?
I, I mean, I think I had a t-shirt on, and also
Bless your heart. Oh
it
my
was like
goodness.
a nor'easter, so which is what caused this fire, right? Which is wild because there's a nor'easter coming right now.
Oh my
And so the
gosh.
winds were crazy. We were one of many fires that night, but we were like the
Really?
most devastating fire in this region. And
Wow.
they never did determine exactly how it started. It could have been something as simple as somebody flicking a cigarette butt out their window and it traveled. It could have been somebody putting out their chimney, their like fireplace remnants
Oh,
or a
right.
fire pit. Could have been anything. It could have been
Smart. Yeah.
electrical.
Mm.
The fire department checked that because we had a like a kid's toy with a one of those crazy batteries plugged in our front at
Mm.
the time. And
Oh.
so we don't know, but we do know that the whole house was considered a total loss. And that's what we woke up to the next day. So that night, the Red Cross came.
Oh,
That was a experience that I'll never forget and gave me so much appreciation for what they do.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
checking us out, giving us a check card with money on it because that was
Oh,
all we were going to have, right? For right then, like none of that had
yeah.
sunk in yet. Um, our neighbors, of course, giving us a place to sleep on the couch and me waking up at 5 in the morning and going, oh my God. Not that I even ever slept, but like
Right. Yeah,
the
yeah.
realization that like, oh my God, this really fucking happened. And so, yeah. So my husband absolutely saved our lives. We
Yeah.
got out. I
Yeah.
will tell you that the fire department were able to locate our dogs. They revived our old guy, Walter, who was uh, about 6 at the time. But Johnny Banjo, our beloved pug who we had since Paul and I were dating, he did not make it. They
Oh, I'm
did find them
sorry.
together, and said that the smoke took them before the fire itself. But, I watched a firewoman actually
Hell yeah.
revive our dog. And that was
Oh,
incredible. This poor guy, he was a Puggle Pekingese mix, like life of the party, this guy, right? He had
Oh.
it was insane.
Oh.
oh,
He spent about 2 weeks in, the vet hospital. His eyes he couldn't open his eyes for a really long
oh,
time.
baby.
Um, and I can't even tell you the joy that we had bringing him home when I
Oh
got to
my
bring him home
gosh,
that
I'm
day. It
sure.
was
Oh.
like the kids were ecstatic.
Yeah.
Losing
Absolutely.
Johnny was one of the hardest
Oh gosh.
for
Yeah.
all of us. It was especially for the kids, it was one of the most devastating parts of
Oh my
this. So, given the time of year, right, it was right after Christmas. It was right after my middle Sully's birthday, and it was right
Mhm.
before Ferris's birthday. So there were a lot of things that were lost,
Oh
um,
god.
gained again. I I recently found this video that the boys had, that was downloaded to my iPhone because, like, they had kid plans or whatever, and, they
Mhm.
all think they're YouTubers at all
Yeah,
times,
of
and
course, yes.
we had just moved back into the house, and Sully and Ferris were going room to room, like, talking about, like, that this was this room, and they were just back in, and, make sure you like in my video,
Like,
but they were
subscribe.
like, subscribe.
Yeah.
But they were showing their viewers, that the house now that they were moved in after their fire.
Mhm.
And Paul and I were watching this and we were just like silent, right? Like, okay, like to like deep breaths. Like
Yeah.
in that moment, they seemed very secure and like emotionally intact. Um,
Mhm.
but we know in reality, there was so much more to
Oh,
that was
yeah.
happening. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that's the lay of the land.
Mm.
Where did you guys stay, like, the next night and for
When I mentioned earlier to you guys that I have like these compartmentalized boxes of everything of the fire. So some of the most joyful pieces of the fire include my college roommate Martha, who you met when we went to Aspen.
Yeah,
Aspen. Yeah,
Aspen.
Aspen. Um, she's in Richmond, and she flew in hot with a Vera Bradley bag that I still have with sweatpants, a Virginia Tech Hokie sweatpants, and a
Oh,
RVA sweatshirt, and some socks probably,
oh
and
god. Yeah, like socks.
helped us get the kids to our neighbors up the street, helped us sit and talk and figure out what we were going to do next and make the calls to our insurance company. And
Oh,
actually, it was her. She had, as part of her apartment complex, had this like visitor's house, like guest house, and was able to book it for a few days.
Oh, wow.
So that's where we immediately went with the clothes on our backs. Like we had
Yeah.
nothing else.
Wow.
And we stayed there until we weren't allowed to stay there anymore. We had like, I think it was like 3 days, 4 days max. And that is when we began our lovely stay in the Hyatt, which I will not badmouth the Hyatt. They have a wonderful
oh.
morning breakfast buffet. The kids lived off of it for a very
I
long
bet they
time.
God bless that. You didn't have to
And
worry about feeding them in the morning, yeah.
well, breakfast. The
Oh,
other food
right.
was,
Oh
yeah,
god.
that's another story. But yeah,
Oh
so
my
we
god.
moved into a hotel. And in retrospect, like, if I ever had to do this again, I'm gonna tell you what, it would be at a,
Yeah,
like, residential inn, not at a
yeah.
Hyatt with 1 bed and a couch, because that shit was
We
crazy.
Yeah, we lived in a
Yes.
Marriott for a
There
while
you
with
go.
5 people, a cat and a dog in 1 room. So 2 beds, a cot, a cat, and a dog.
What the
Yes.
Yeah.
fuck?
Yes.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
This is in the middle of the school year.
Oh my god.
That is accurate. This was in the middle of the school year, and school was coming on that Monday, right? My sister came. She came up for the day, brought my father. They brought the kids some toys. And another friend, this is another one of those pieces in the good box, Vicky, she showed up to our house with book bags for all the kids.
Oh
Like one
my
of those things I'll
god.
never forget. But it was also like the realization, like, oh my God, like, do we send them to school? Do we not send them to school? Their house just burned down. What do we do?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, they had nowhere they could go. Our house was absolutely obliterated. The only person that was going to be in there was me with a mask, inventorying what I could. So they did. They went to school and then they came home. I would get them from preschool. Ferris was in preschool, and I would get the boys from elementary school and take them to our hometel. They also were in sports at the time, which, again, in retrospect, right? Like, I was so adamant to keep them busy and to try to do things.
Sure.
And I wore us out, right? Running up and down. There was not a hotel that was close to like our neighborhood.
Oh, God.
Um, and I have these visions of them just being collapsed in the bed together and
Oh.
me being like, what was I thinking? Trying to make them play baseball. Like, it's the last thing
I
those
think
kids
you were
wanted to
right,
do.
though. Keep them moving.
I agree. If not, they're
Oh,
just gonna sit around and you have to try and keep their
right.
lives as normal and stable as possible.
That was the goal. And
Yeah.
Mm.
that's what we were really trying to do. So yeah, they were going to school and they were homeless. Some other friends through my husband brought us over a ton of clothes to our location, and
You have no
we
clothes. It's like,
sorted out clothes that would fit the kids. And I had some people collecting things for me here in my neighborhood. My girlfriends just hit the ground running with like
oh.
Amanda up the street had a spreadsheet and she was like, what do you
Oh,
need? Yeah,
yes.
and they had a meeting, and they I came to this meeting, and they were
They
like,
had a
"This is what
meeting.
we're doing." Yeah, and they were like, "We're getting you clothes. How much money do you need?" My sister had set up a GoFundMe. Clothes were being delivered daily to our neighbor
Oh,
across the street. Like, it became an operation of helping us. And so between, like, just random people showing up and handing us, like, a gift card to Chick-fil-A,
uh,
to
wow.
boxes of clothes, some usable, some not, right? Like,
Yeah,
we were
but
like, we'll take
yeah.
every little tiny thing. We held on to
Yeah.
every little thing, and it
Oh,
became what we had.
yeah.
Um, I
Leave it to
remember
women to
Yes.
organize
women.
and to
It's like,
Mhm.
make
what was
things
Yeah.
happen.
Yep.
who did
Yep.
that spreadsheet? Who did that spreadsheet?
My friend
Amanda?
Amanda did that spreadsheet.
Freaking
Mhm.
Amanda.
Amanda.
I know. I know. I know. Friendships change over time,
Of course,
Yeah.
obviously.
yeah.
And so there are women in my neighborhood that we were all once really, really tight, and life happens and things change and whatever. And, but there are those pieces of the puzzle that I will never literally ever forget for
Uh-uh.
how certain people did certain things, bringing us food in the hotel because they knew we didn't have dinner and we had to source dinner every night with
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
in a hotel with no
Yeah.
kitchen. Um,
Oh, no.
and then eventually we moved into the apartment and we still had people bringing us food. It was incredible. To putting together clothes bins and going to buy me a purse because I didn't have one.
First, you have
You
a
know, like
wallet?
there are little pieces that I remember that I will never forget, and
Mm,
who was involved
yeah.
and how important it was for me, even though I might not have even really realized like the gravity of it at the time. So
Wow.
Of course. Yeah, you're
yeah,
so in it
Wow.
and you forget. I've had to go back through and read through things and cards and just remember who did what for me
yeah,
because
yes,
at the time you're in the middle of some very traumatic experience and you
Yeah.
can't always
yes,
process those memories right then and there, but they live somewhere,
Mm.
they do, they
somewhere in
do.
a treasure chest. I need the key to
Gosh.
Mhm.
mine, but nah.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right because
Yeah.
you know.
This old memory ain't what she used to be.
Yeah.
Um
I
So
understand
Oh,
that too.
wow.
okay, so you went from your hometel at the was it the
Mhm,
Hyatt to an
mhm.
apartment? How long were you at the hotel before you moved into an apartment? And
We were at the hometel for about a month and a half. We were there for
okay,
a
Mm.
very long time.
I bet it felt
Our
like
insurance
longer,
company
yeah.
we were trying to find a rental property that we could move
Mm.
into. Um, there was just nothing. And so
Yeah.
eventually we moved into an apartment.
okay,
Um, and it wasn't far from our house, which was
Oh,
great
good.
because
that's
it
good.
allowed us to bring the kids back and forth and go
Yeah,
to the pool over the summer and also just keep an eye on the house.
yeah.
Go mow
Yeah.
the lawn, like,
Oh,
Oh,
wow. So
um,
and
right?
your
Like,
house just sitting there still kind of
it
smoldering, or at
was.
that point did they I mean, do they
I,
come in and start to tear things out?
they did. I pulled a couple of photos. from, I don't know if you can see this, but like that is
Oh,
like
Oh
in
my
the month
gosh.
yeah.
after. Um,
Oh,
and
wow.
so what happened was, like, even though these windows are still like intact there, the smoke had pulled from like this is the front door all
Okay.
the way, and the
Wow.
fire itself had pulled up to the bedroom that our sons were in at the very end of the house.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so it was just the design of the home. They fixed it
Mm,
when they rebuilt our house. But whatever the air, whatever, however that works, the air was pulled directly that way. So the fire just went straight up the stairs and straight to the back of the house.
oh my
So
gosh.
God.
everything had, it was a total loss. The entire house
Mm,
was taken down to the studs and
mm.
then rebuilt. And so
Wow.
every single thing we owned was thrown away. We had some stuff that we marked as we would like to try to save. And this really awesome guy, Randy, who owned the cleanup company here, came and he was like, okay. He took a look at the pile. He took what he could and brought back what he could at a
Mm.
certain point. It's things like you don't think about, like we lost all of
Oh,
our
yeah.
Christmas decoration, like ornaments and things
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Some of that came
Ornaments.
back. Some of that came back that we weren't expecting
Oh.
to come back. It was
Oh,
Randy worked his magic. Randy
freaking
somehow managed to
Randy.
save Randy somehow managed to save like all of our CDs that we hadn't pulled out in a really long time.
Amazing.
The one
So
thing
we
that
were like,
lives
well,
on.
we don't have our kids' blankets, but we've got our CDs from 1996. Right? Like,
We got Pearl Jam, Soundgarden. We're good. We're good.
exactly, like, thank God for that. No, I mean, we took
Oh,
everything was able to
absolutely.
save was, like, absolutely priceless. But the kids, they lost
Oh.
everything. We came back into the house and got their, like, stuffies that they sleep with and had those, like, industrial cleaned,
Yeah.
like, 5 times to try to
Oh, I
salvage
bet.
them, and
Yeah.
they still have them. We
Oh,
were able to
Oh,
get
that's
those back into
sweet.
their hands.
That's
oh my
good.
Yeah,
gosh. That's
yeah.
So,
special. Wow.
talk to me about, you moved into an apartment and you're now thinking about rebuilding this and that, and how that works with insurance and the logistics of doing all of that.
So
Yeah.
that's a real bitch, I'll tell you that. My insurance company, for the most part, was pretty decent. They were pretty decent. Did they
Mhm.
put a roof on my house that was half one other color and half a different color? They sure did.
Mm.
Because,
Uh,
they didn't think they had to replace the whole thing. But I called them and told them they needed to get their shit together, and they did,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Good.
here's a
Okay, good.
picture of what
Good.
you've done to my house. Um, so we had to
Motherfuckers.
inventory everything. And of course, after the fact, you hear that there are these companies that do this for you. Well, we didn't know that. And we didn't have anyone that had been through
Mhm.
this to tell us how to do it, right? We were just making it up as we went along.
Right.
So I was in here daily with a giant, you know, oxygen mask on, walking through just destroyed rooms, trying to remember exactly what was here. Because in order to
Gosh.
recoup, you had to provide them with the list of everything. And our list was like a mile long.
Of course.
every single
Eh,
thing.
right. And so then what happens is they are also working with a company to come in and redo your house. And so there are different elements to what's covered: your personal items, the home, also like the recoup, your
Mm.
rent at your new place. But like they didn't recoup, we weren't able to recoup all the expenses that we had of like feeding our kids every night, living out of a hotel, right? Like,
Yeah.
and things like that. So we learned a lot. You also had to spend money in order to get money back. So, like, well, we'll replace these items for you that's on this list, but you need to go ahead and purchase new
Right.
items
Right.
and then we'll reimburse you for them.
Right.
And so, ponying up for thousands and
Oh my
thousands
gosh.
of
Oh
dollars
my God.
in
Tens of
just stuff
thousands.
I mean, right, is not something that anyone is prepared to do. Like,
No,
certainly not us.
no.
We were just doing the best we could to begin with, right?
Right.
My sister had collected through a GoFundMe for us. Again, one of those things that I'll never forget. It
Mhm.
allowed me to take time and say, I'm going to take a pause from my job because there was no way that I could work. Paul could work and we could manage a house that was burnt down and manage our kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So I stopped and went into like mama bear mode,
Mm.
inventorying the house, taking care of this. I remember going into Target and buying everybody a pillow
Oh.
with money from that GoFundMe and just being
Oh.
so grateful that like I could go buy everybody a new pillow because like we didn't have pillows. And I could bring them all to the
Oh my
hotel,
God.
right? So but
Mm.
but the insurance is tricky and the rebuild is tricky.
Wow.
They're fighting you for every little thing. Like, well, we're gonna put basic everything in here. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure those were like decent lights. Can we get,
Yeah.
my friend Rachel, who is an interior designer, is incredible. She sat down with us and was like, okay, like let's figure out what you want it to look like when you come back
Yeah.
and helped us make the choices to
Ugh.
tell the construction company how to do things because we had no idea what we were doing.
No.
And they would have
Oh my
just come in
God.
and just slabbed anything
Yeah.
on just to give it the least of their concern, right?
Right,
So
right.
she was just incredibly helpful, not only just as because she was like my best friend and doing things because she's so helpful, but like she sat with us and
Mm.
looked at every light fixture that we would need to pick out and every toilet and
Oh,
mirror
gosh.
and like
Wow.
so
Yeah.
but then that stuff also took on some like joy, like that
Yeah.
Yeah.
became joyous. We became excited to move back in.
Oh my
The reconstruction, they did not start. This happened in March. I got a text from my neighbor Kim across the street. I want to say July ish. And she was like, there's a company here. They dropped a bid. Something's
Woohoo!
happening. And we were like,
Yeah.
holy shit, something's
Oh my gosh.
happening.
Oh my.
And,
Wow.
and the next thing we know, for the first time in months and months, the dilapidated eyesore of the
Oh,
burnt down house on the street was finally getting torn apart and
wow.
new wood was going in. And
Oh.
so we
Oh, that's
the
got to
pro
be a good feeling.
yeah, once
Yeah.
they started, they were at it and we were back in this house by the end of October. It
Wow.
wasn't
Whoa.
yeah, it wasn't finished. But we were able to get in it. We were able to get in this house and live in
Mm.
it, and the timing couldn't have been better because we were out of rent money, right?
Yeah. Gosh.
And so it was like, okay, great, we need to be in there. But funny things like we moved back in, and turns out like the gas line had been cut to the house um, because of the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had to come dig up the whole yard and put a new gas line
Oh.
in. And
Oh God.
everybody was like, why do you not have a gas line? We're like, because our house burned down. I don't know. Somebody cut the gas line.
Oh God.
So there were just all these like crazy things, but I have a ton
Yeah.
of just like great memories and pictures of us coming here every day with the boys and being able and I have a video of us like we have floors upstairs, and them
Oh
being
my
able to
gosh.
run from room to room and see the floor, like look out the windows, and it became real again that like
Yeah.
they had a house, they had a home, and we were
Oh,
coming back to their home.
wow.
It felt like centuries before they started, and then we were in. We had um, various things that they had to continue to work on, like into 2019.
Oh gosh.
Ironically, they were supposed to come back and do their punch list, like that 2-year list. But
Yep.
guess what? It was COVID. So
Oh yeah.
so they were saved by the bell. Like
They
they
were
never had to come
freaking.
back in and
Jeez.
finish anything. But it was good. It was done. We moved back in. Um,
Just in
So
time to
is it
get locked
Yeah.
down.
yeah, just
At
in
least you had a
time.
good home to do it in.
Exactly.
Well, yeah,
We
and
were
you guys were
fine.
like,
We were
well,
like, all right, well,
let's. I mean,
yeah.
right?
I mean, I specifically remember unloading the dishwasher and thinking, I will never not be grateful to do this. I mean, that passed, but
Yes.
I definitely
Yeah.
was grateful at the time.
I
Yeah.
will love this every moment of my
I
life from
will
here on out.
never not cherish this. And I was like, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm good
right.
now. But,
Yeah. I'm over
but
doing the
yeah,
dishes. You
I'm
guys
good.
want to help
I'm not,
out?
Yeah, right.
yeah, exactly.
Anybody want to step in?
Turns out you can get sick of doing the dishes again,
Yes.
even
Yep.
after,
So did
that.
you guys basically rebuild the same house, same layout or similar?
Yeah, we built the same house. We changed the
Okay.
layout downstairs. We opened it up a little bit, made it more
Cool.
this house was built in the '80s. We were able to open up the downstairs and make it like open, whatever it's called, a floor plan.
Concept, an open
Which now
concept.
we're slowly trying to box it back up. 'Cause we were like, what were we thinking? We
Yeah.
need more
It's
rooms
too
with
much.
doors.
Yeah.
It's too many people running wild in this house. We
Just
can't get a
everybody's
moment of
looking at each
peace.
other doing whatever they're doing. That's funny.
Right? We're like, no. I'm like, I need my walls back.
Mhm.
Ah. But no, we had help. Rachel's dad actually came over and strong armed the construction company and got us what we
Hell
needed to
yeah.
to put a beam in and open it
Oh,
up
good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
and so that was also that brought us some joy to like come back to this just like incredibly refreshing. I mean, new to us
Yeah.
Right.
house.
Yeah.
So
God. So let me ask you this, now that you want more walls and everything. How did this, um, like, strain your family, your marriage, and also in what
Oh,
ways did it
yeah.
possibly strengthen those connections?
For
Because 'Cause I'm
sure.
sure it was both.
great, 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 great question. So as I mentioned earlier, we were immediately very concerned about the well-being of our kids, and
Mhm.
that has not changed. We have
Right.
had ups and downs in and out of therapy over the years. Like I said also earlier, like we get to a point where we seem like everybody's like really past it. It's not as crazy as it once was, right? Like
Mhm.
I used to not be able to look down the stairs and not see fire.
Oh
That
Oh,
gosh.
passed eventually, right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Wow.
things got better and they got better for everybody. But Paul and I we put off our own therapy for a really long time. And he never missed a day of work. He kept
Wow.
going. He took on so much like of the stress of this and he had to be at work, right? Because somebody had to.
Yeah.
Mm.
And just the thought of what if he hadn't woke up and the fact that he did save us, like, at the same time, like, 2 things can be true. I mean, 15 things can be true at the same time, like, so grateful and then so scared.
Mhm.
Um, we have had yearly conversations where we come up and we pick apart every single thing that happened and, like, the guilt we carry for this or for that, and but both of us being in therapy, was has been life-changing for that.
Were you in therapy prior to, or did therapy kind of
No.
start after?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And really, I mean, I didn't start therapy until, like, 2 years ago. So,
Okay.
like, pretty recent in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
And for him, it's really been, like, a year.
Mhm.
So, we dabbled with some therapy after, and I don't think either of us were at a place where we could really open up and talk. And so we just didn't, right? I mean, we've been married, yeah, 20 years almost. Like,
It's incredible.
at a baseline, you have hard years and years that are tough, and like you're growing, and work is hard, and life is hard, and
Mhm.
relationships are hard, and aging family, and there's all these other things. And so sometimes you feel selfish when you're like, but this one thing, we still want to talk about.
Mhm.
And but it's also been a bonding experience. We'll always look at those photos of the kids in the hotel room the night or a few days later, and
Mm.
our hearts will ache,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we also like will together remember the joy of getting back in here and what we've
Mhm.
built since. And it comes it's cyclical. Like I said,
Mhm.
it comes back around. He right before I sat down to talk to you guys, he sent me a text. He was like, "Everything is okay. Just breathe." Because he knew yesterday I was spiraling. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm thinking of
Oh,
all of these." I was having all, this would have happened whether I was going to talk to you guys or not. I
Right, right.
just I initiated it as opposed to it
Mhm.
coming to me. I opened the door for it. Um,
you're
of
meeting
all
it
the
head
things that you
on.
think about.
Yeah. You took
Yeah.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Wow. Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Did I even answer your question? I feel like I spiraled there
Can't-
for 20
That's okay.
minutes.
No,
You can
you
it was great. You did.
unbelievable. Like,
It's a
I
work in
literally I don't
progress.
whew.
I mean, honestly,
Imagine.
I will be talking about this when I see my therapist next week and I tell her that I talked to you guys and you know, like I said earlier too, she has been a game changer in just being like, hey, remember where you were that night? And like
Mm.
your house burnt down and you were standing there with your 3 kids and you were doing the absolute best you could with the information that you had at the time. Like, sure, you can think back and be like, God, I wish I had done this. And why didn't I do this? But like you were doing exactly what you could and could have done. Those things might not have even been options at the
Mm.
time. And so letting
Wow.
go of that like guilt of which we'll never be able to completely let go of, right?
Of course.
No, you went
But
straight into survival mode to
we
protect
Yeah.
did.
what you
We
had
did.
to protect, which was your blood and flesh in that
Hmm.
moment of sheer crisis.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's what you did. That's what anybody would just do immediately. Everything else becomes a blur in that instant, and you just have to focus on what do I need right now? I need my
Yeah.
babies.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And that's exactly what we did. That is exactly what we did.
Yeah.
So yeah. Sam would say, yes, that is correct.
That's
Need to
right.
meet this, Sam.
I know. She's pretty great. She's pretty great.
So now that you're, I would say on the other side of it, but it lives in you daily. And
Hmm.
clearly, it comes up seasonally or, annually of this time of year. What precautions do you take
Mm.
now that,
Ooh.
maybe you didn't
Mm.
take before?
Well,
Yes.
I can't even tell you if we had a fire extinguisher in our house. I
Oh,
guarantee we didn't.
yeah.
It wasn't on our radar. We
Yeah.
had why would we need a fire extinguisher? I mean, I think back at now and I'm like, oh my God. We have like 5
Mm.
fire
Yeah.
extinguishers strategically placed throughout our home.
Absolutely.
Um, for better or worse. For a long time, I could not go anywhere with the kids without needing to know exactly what that home was prepared for.
Mm.
Is there a fire extinguisher? Are the
Oh, of
fire
course.
alarms working?
Holy smokes.
Um,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. You would be amazed at how many vacation homes do not
Mm.
come with fire detectors and CO2 and things of that
Really?
nature.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
And so when you are looking to vacation, it depends on the state and what the state requires. We had a really, really bad house fire at a house at the Outer Banks a couple years ago, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago. And it was a rental home. And I mean, it was tragic.
Were you there?
And no, 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 no. It was someone else's. And
Okay.
the home wasn't prepared for
Ah,
a
got you.
fire, and I just remember being like, "Oh my god," like,
Yeah.
they were in North Carolina and the houses didn't require it. So,
Ugh,
we
wow.
definitely think about that. We've relaxed over the years about, like,
Mhm.
just how protective we were, but yeah, like, I would not have let my kids spend the night out, anywhere,
Oh my
because
lord, no.
I could not have them out of my sight.
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely not.
sure.
Gosh.
But we're protected. We talk about what would happen if something like that were to ever happen again, which again, we didn't have a plan, but I will also say 2 things can be true at the same time. They were too
Mm.
young to have had a plan.
Yeah.
Um, there are a lot of people that will tell you, well, have a plan, you meet outside, and everybody goes out their window. I'm here to tell you that there is no world that I live in that my house would be on fire, that I would not be going to their rooms,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
To make sure
Yeah.
they're getting
Oh,
out.
that's
There's
wild,
meet
yeah.
me outside is not something
Why
that's
why didn't the 5-year-old jump out the top window there like we
exactly.
instructed him
Exactly.
to?
Just make sure
Da
they have a
da
ladder and they'll meet you outside. No,
Yeah,
they
we
won't
talked about
because
this.
if you're right, your fight or flight. We were able to fly because my husband forced us and got us moving. And there was smoke
Unbelievable.
already in here. Like it was already permeating. I think being able to talk about it and as a family and think about what you would do, but what happens in the moment is you're going to into life saving.
The best plans laid out, but it's when that moment hits, it's all gonna go out the window, and you're just gonna do whatever you have to do to
Mhm.
make it out of that situation at that time.
Right.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
If somebody listening to this, experienced, like, a catastrophic loss tomorrow, do you have any practical advice that you would give them, like, next steps within the next 72 hours or emotional advice even?
Yeah. Well, first off, talking to someone and having some sort of advocate that knows what they're doing
Yeah.
with insurance, with all of that. And that's going to come uh definitely getting in to speak to someone, taking your kids to their pediatrician immediately and letting them direct you to the best
Oh,
next thing. When we saw
smart.
our pediatrician, they were like, "Oh my God, we've been so worried about you guys. We saw your house on the fire and this and that." And it never even occurred to me to call our pediatrician and to let
Yeah.
them know and to like
Yeah.
schedule an appointment. I just went straight to like, we've got to find a therapist. How am I going to do this? No, they could
Right.
have helped us do this, right? Like that's what
Absolutely. Yeah.
um you do not have to be the smartest person in the room. You just need to find those people that can help you. When I found out
Yeah.
there were companies that would come and inventory your home, I was like, what? I've been in
Yeah.
here for weeks in a gas mask, like trying not to pass
Poor
out,
thing.
trying not to fall through like broken ceiling
Good
boards, like
Lord.
Oh
questioning
my
every decision I've
God.
ever made in my life.
Yeah.
Right? Like somebody could have done this. I could have maybe
Wow.
stayed employed. Like you just don't know.
You
When
have no
I
idea.
see and you don't know until you know, right? Like you don't
Yeah.
know until you don't until you know about cancer, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
And you know when you meet someone that has gone through cancer now that no one else knows until they
Mhm.
know.
Right.
And when I see a house fire on the news, it's
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. Like my husband and I both like we stop and we look at it, and it's almost like a moment of silence for like
Yeah.
someone else that now has to have that experience
Mm.
that no one should ever have to have. No one should ever have
Right.
to throw all their things away and all their kids' toys
Mm-mm.
away and
Yeah.
um, all their memories. Um,
Yeah.
clo- you know,
Your
Yeah.
bras.
um,
I can't stop thinking about the
oh,
bras.
oh,
Like,
I know.
boy,
Like, oh,
they're so
yeah,
expensive.
I know they're like $80
And you
each.
can't just like get like people could be like, here's a bra. Like, what? I
no, I'm
mean,
telling you,
not
my neighbor
important.
across the street, right? Like, she came in with a like she brought me a purse at Target, and so I remember her texting me and being like, "What kind of bra and underwear?" I'm like, "Just get whatever you
Hell
can
yeah.
find," right?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
um,
because that's just one of the things, like a bra size, like, ugh, you're going to wear
Well,
right.
and
sports
your
You're
bras
your
not
face
ever
forever.
like,
wash and your moisturizer and just the little
oh my
things, that
god.
Yeah.
women
Your
we
Earrings.
have more
toiletries.
Oh,
yeah.
Actually, you said that. I remember it was my friend Rachel who had given this Rodan Fields toiletry kit that ended up in the stuff that was donated to me. And I was like, oh, thank God for some
seriously.
good face cream. Because you're not thinking I need to go buy my expensive
Right?
face cream. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't care what I'm putting on right now. Like
No, really, of
my
No.
face
course.
still has soot all over it. Um, but
Real.
in terms of what else I would tell people, my therapist told me that more and more research, and I'm going to botch this, but that more and more research indicates that the sooner you can begin to seek therapy after a traumatic event, the sooner your brain can start to open new pathways from that
Oh,
event.
wow.
So,
Oh.
like, we all suffered from PTSD
Of
terribly.
course.
For years, my kids' schools had to let us know when there was going to be a fire drill. And they knew that I needed to
Wow.
know that, and the kids needed to know that. And so they would whisper to the kids, there's going to be a fire drill today, but I knew about it the day before. So there were things that we put in place to help. But you wouldn't even believe me if I told you this. I'm going to tell you this. But when we were in the hotel, we had 2 nights in the hotel that the fire alarm went off, guys.
Oh my God.
2 where we had to evacuate the hotel with our kids. I cannot even begin to tell you how angry and just like vile the anger was that I had for that hotel that we had to go through that because they didn't know what our kids were going like what
Yeah.
that was doing to them and their
Oh my
bodies.
God.
And so the sooner that you can start to open up new pathways from trauma, the better. And from
Yeah.
what Sam was telling me that with kids, it's crucial. You can really change their brains
Yeah.
and stop PTSD dead in its tracks if you can get something to help them. And
Oh, that's
so,
incredible.
and it is. But you also have to be, the reality of it is that's a first world problem too, right? Like it's not something that everyone has access to. That is for sure.
Right.
But if you do, if you can, then you should. And for adults too. Like
Right.
Yeah.
it it's never too late.
Never.
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely. It's incredible
Um,
also because you can do the online stuff. I've
yeah,
I've been working with an online and it's $80 flat, no insurance.
there
I
we
mean,
go.
not cheap, not cheap. That's a lot of
Not
money to
right.
me,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Right.
So,
It is.
Uh,
And then, yeah,
holy
just I guess
cannoli.
surround yourself with people that not a lot of people would have something like this happen to them in a community that was so supportive. We
mhm.
were
Yeah.
so lucky. We moved back into this house, and our best friends showed up unannounced to stock
Oh.
our bar.
Oh.
Like things that just like you wouldn't even believed with rocks glasses with our names on them
They stalked your
and a
fucking
whole
bar!
like they just stormed it, like they came in marching in with marching orders, carrying the basket, and like
I
we
love it.
were just so freaking lucky. And we're so lucky too because we didn't belong to a church. We're not we didn't have like groups that we were but we had our people, and our people here really supported
As your
us. And so
community. Yeah.
right, and but not everybody has that. Eh,
Yeah.
I think about people that stuff like this happens to, and they probably don't know where to turn. Um,
Yeah.
it's hard to talk about it with even your friends in your community because you just
Mhm.
don't want to sound like a broken record forever. The fire,
Yeah.
and we had help. So
Yeah.
I really do. I feel for people that go through anything like
Yeah.
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Mm.
I can't imagine. So how are you guys
Unbelievable.
these days? Do you have moments, I'm curious, where you just have flashbacks and like panic attacks from time to time? Because I do.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. What I mentioned earlier about going down the stairs and seeing fire,
Yeah.
it
Mm.
took years for that to minimize.
For
But
sure.
yesterday I was in this house, and with every corner I turned, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I do. We do. We do. And then just again, like moments of doubt, of self doubt, of like, why did I do it that way? And
Yeah.
why did I not beat my insurance company up more? And why did I allow this to happen and this to happen? And we lost so much money of our own personal money. And but we're here.
Yeah.
And so that's what keeps us coming back to like, oh my God, we're all here. And our
Yeah.
kids have such wild imaginations too, right? Like they
Yeah.
remember it. And they
Oh, for
also
sure.
have like vivid memories and also like different memories that we're like, oh no. But like as they get older, they're growing into our oldest Fisher likes to come down and talk our ear off at like 10 o'clock every night. It's the joy of having a
Of
16-year
course.
old.
Oh, right.
And he's a talker, and he's hilarious.
I
Like
love.
absolutely hysterical. But I went to bed, and he came down, and he at some point it came up, maybe because I'm talking to you guys, but or the fact that the fire is on all of our brains, whether we want it to or not. Um, just that, like telling Paul, like, no, you guys did, like you did so great, like how he remembered it was like us taking care of him
Yeah.
and us
Oh,
getting
yeah.
him and his brothers to his best friend's house up the street, which I had held on to guilt about for a long time
Mm.
because they needed to go somewhere and I didn't
Yeah.
have family here. So where do you put your kids? Right. And
Yeah.
they're there. And the whole time they're at this house, I am like, what's the word I'm looking for? Where you're somewhere, but you're really somewhere. I was like dying inside that I wasn't with them every second
Of
of
course. Oh my
Yeah.
these
gosh.
hours that we were sitting trying to figure out where we're going to go, and Martha helping us figure out where we're going to sleep and all that. But to him, turns out it was the best thing ever because
Yeah.
the family, the Erdelies, well, man, they entertained them. They got them
Yeah.
Oh,
lunch. They
yeah.
did things. They stepped in and took their mind
Yeah.
off of everything that was going on. And to hear that, you're like, okay, all
Mm.
right, maybe he won't be in therapy forever.
Yeah. For
Right?
sure.
Like, I did something
Oh,
right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like I said, you see these videos of them in the house and they're like doing a house tour, like they're on MTV
Yeah.
Cribs,
Yeah.
showing people, showing their followers,
It's exactly it. Oh, Lord.
this
That's
is
awesome.
where the magic happens. No, it
Yeah.
doesn't. you know?
If
That's
you mean
precious.
Magic,
And
that card game, then yeah,
Yeah.
kid, you're right. Spot on
exactly.
there.
Totally.
Exactly. Um, and we talk about it. I try so hard not to bring it up because it I don't want to induce
Sure.
unnecessary. I don't want to imprint memories or trauma on them that doesn't need to be.
Right.
Because on every level each of them had PTSD. On some levels still do.
Right.
Just at different degrees, right? And we're all on like a different timeline continuum
Mhm.
of how we move on and how it
Right.
affects us.
Yeah.
And it can change
It's
like that.
yeah. And it's hard not to have a traumatic experience kind of define you in a way as you progress out of that. Um,
Yeah.
I know some cancer survivors who that's the first thing they say when they meet
Mhm.
you, or it comes up in
Mhm.
conversation. And here I am talking about it. It comes up almost on every episode we have.
As it should. As
But
it
yeah, I
should.
try
Yeah.
and every day I'm like, I don't want this to define who I am as a person. But it has because I am a completely
Has.
different person now because of that
Yeah.
100%.
experience. But
Mhm.
I try and look at it, I try and find the positive moments of it that I can have define me as opposed to some of the awful negative that happened for that. And that will always be there. Those panic attacks and same here. It was this time of year. It was maybe exactly 4 years ago today or
Mhm.
something that I was diagnosed. Actually, no, it's coming up on Wednesday, I think. So yeah, it's there, but I try and look for the positive so that I don't let the negative define me. It's
100%.
hard. It's hard.
There's always, I'm sure, before cancer and
Mhm.
after.
Yep.
For us, it's like, oh,
BC and
before the fire.
AD.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Uh-huh.
always like, oh yeah,
Oh,
before the fire, or
yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
BF. Um, 100%. It
Yeah.
definitely it definitely changed our lives. Period. We would not be the same people had that not happened to us.
Yeah.
And I
Absolutely.
think, God, if I could just take the trauma out of it and keep all the good stuff that it helped us
Mhm.
become, I would, right? Like I wouldn't go. I would never. I take it back. I would not go through that again for anything.
No.
But I can see how it brought us closer as a family. How it changed us. I don't know. I can't put it into words. But you, uh, having gone through that too, it there's you're different, right? You'll
Mhm.
always be different
Totally.
because of it.
I'll always be different because of it. It's
Mhm.
changed my outlook on life completely. How
Yeah.
I move about the world, what matters to me, what doesn't matter to me anymore. The people I want to surround myself, just the life that I've built for
Yeah.
myself afterward. And I know it doesn't look that amazing to certain people in my life. You know, they question my choices and what I do. And I'm like, yeah, but this makes me happy now. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't experience as much of this before, and I wasn't happy. I'm just
Right.
trying to find all the little things now that I'm like, this makes me happy. I don't want to do anything else. Why would I want to go do
Right.
something
Lean
that I don't
into
want
it.
to do?
Right.
Yeah. I know
Yeah.
myself more. I know what I want. And I'm not afraid to say that anymore. It's like, no, I don't want to do that.
Right.
That's so
That
empowering.
won't make me happy
It's
tonight.
so
Hmm.
empowering. I love
It,
getting
it
older and
really
it's just like,
is.
no, I'm not doing it.
I know.
Mhm.
Somebody recently called me. They were like, "She's very direct." And I'm like, "I never used to be very direct." I am now.
It's so fun. It's so easy. You just
I
say,
love
no.
you. Right. No, I'm not going to
Yep.
have that in my life right
I'm not
now.
doing this.
I
Hmm.
don't
I don't
want
want
that.
to.
No.
Period. That's all. I
Hmm.
don't want
Yep.
to.
Yep.
Wow.
So,
Ladies. Oh,
yeah.
power.
Yeah.
Well, JQ, do you have any other tidbits of advice for people or things that you've walked away with that you want to share? And if not, that's fine.
There's definitely those tiny reminders of who embraced you and who touched you and we might not be friends forever, but I'll never forget that that person reached out or walked into my house with a gift card, couldn't look me in the face, but was like, here, please take this for your family. Like,
Oh, yeah.
um, and when I think about the like tragedy happens to other people, I know it's really hard to talk about it with people, or, you don't know what to say to people.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't think you have to say anything necessarily. You just show up in the way that you can,
Show up.
That's
show up
it.
in the way. Yeah.
Just
And
show up how
I,
you can.
who was I? Was it a podcast? I don't know where I heard this. I'm definitely stealing it from someone, but it was talking about, um, like, and my friend, one of my best friends growing up, lost her husband a few years ago, and tragically, and I remember her talking to me about how like people showed up really heavily right when it happened, and then they weren't there. It just people stop, right? Because they don't know what to say. And like
Mhm.
that, what happened to her, unequivocal, right? Like
Mhm.
Mhm.
and so, but then I think, I'm like, oh my God, I haven't reached out to her and asked her how she's doing.
Yeah.
I
Right.
have put it in a box and walked away. And what I saw was like, you don't have to have like the perfect text message,
Mm-mm.
like, hey, I'm thinking about you, or here, I bought you a cup of coffee, or have,
Yeah.
something delivered to them.
Mhm.
There are a million different ways that you can tell somebody that you're thinking about them and
Yeah.
you see
Yeah.
them without it having to be like
Absolutely.
this
Yeah.
conversation where you're bleh, like I'm doing right
Yeah.
now.
Mm.
You're not bleh at all.
I think you heard that on this podcast
That's right.
Maybe
You probably heard
I
it from
did.
us.
I think I did. As a
because
matter of
I know I
fact.
mentioned that in our cancer episode.
Oh, I
that
was kidding. I was like, yeah, of course it came from us because we're the best.
No, no,
But
no.
No,
It
I
rang true. And, I'm sure many,
yes,
many people have said it
no.
because people showed up at the get-go. And then as soon as I started chemo, they just
it was like,
trickled off. And by
yeah.
the time I was done with treatments, no one was around anymore. And
Yeah.
that's when I needed people the most.
Yeah.
The
And
recovery part was the hardest part.
the recovery
Oh my
part was the
gosh.
hardest part. And if it weren't for Courtney here,
Oh my goodness.
getting me in, she got me into a support group, and it didn't even dawn on me that I should be in a support group, but she found it.
Well,
She signed me up and she got me going.
you were
And
making different plans for yourself.
I was making, yes, I was not planning to be
Yeah,
here.
you had
right
other
now.
things going on.
Yes, I was in a
I'm very
very
pro support groups.
yeah, I was going through a very dark time, and no one could pull me out of that. But
Mm.
I put one foot in front of the other for a good year
Yeah.
Mhm.
in order to make it happen. So yeah. Um
Wow.
Well, real quick, Jen, recently or any time in your life, what's one of the nicest things somebody has ever done for you?
Not related
Oh
to the fire.
gosh.
Let's go
Yes.
outside of the fire
Yeah.
because
Oh
God
gosh,
bless.
that's a hard one, you guys.
Just
Oh.
something nice.
Um, my husband had Sugar Shack donuts delivered here on Valentine's Day. By the way, he was in Australia for his new job, and I
Oh my
I
God.
was like, "What?" I
That's
mean, honestly,
incredible.
I was like, "Well done, Paul Howell.
That's incredible.
You nailed it." Because Valentine's Day is not it is not a good, right? Like the stars do not usually align.
Yeah.
So I mean that's
That's
Valentine's Day, so it doesn't really
Hell
count,
yeah.
but like
Yes,
it
it
counted.
does.
It does.
That's
It
it.
does. Especially that it's not
Um,
like something random like a bear from CVS.
no,
Actual
right?
freaking
Yes.
donuts from, and
No.
it's called Sugar Shack? Shake Shack?
Sugar Shack. Sugar
Why
Shack
do I not know
donuts.
this? Sugar
Yeah.
Shack donuts.
Well, next time you make your
Oh.
way to Richmond, you make sure you get yourself a Sugar Shack
Oh, that was
donut.
in Richmond. Gotcha. Oh,
Mhm.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. You're in Richmond.
Yes, it is here in
Oh,
Richmond.
Got it.
In this
she's like, I
here.
got
thought you
it.
were right next door.
I know. I was like, I feel like I could touch your face. It's
Right.
no.
Gosh, that's a really hard question. And I'm going to think of a million things after we
Right,
talk
of
because I feel
course.
like people do nice things, especially for me and the kids and for Paul. I feel like we have received a lot of just nice things over
Well, that's why we
time.
had to go outside of the fire because outside of the fire, people still do nice things, and
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah, they do.
It's little things that are just what life is about. I had a
Yeah.
neighbor once. we didn't communicate, her and I, we didn't know each other. And I went outside and she had covered my window when it was raining with a plastic bag. And
Oh,
I think I sobbed. I think I was in a moment of my life where I was just like having a hard time. And I was like, oh, thank you. My piece of shit car
Yeah.
is gonna not be full of water. So it was so sweet. So little stuff like that, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
and I even thanked her, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I figured you probably didn't want rain in your car." I was like, You're right. I didn't."
No, it's little things. Like the two of the gals that are on my team, Logan and Trisha at work at Virginia Tech, they're like infamous for just like sending the kind text messages like right when you need it. Like
Oh
we don't get
yeah.
to see each other very often and we work remotely from each other and yet we're like in sync so often. And that is always really touching to me too. Gosh, friends, my good girlfriends in the neighborhood had a tradition where they would take it was we call it chicken wine. It's the rosé wine that's like
Oh, yeah.
6.99 with the
Yeah.
chicken on the front of it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're
And
talking about.
yeah, so good. And they write all these like amazing things about you and
Oh,
give it to
Oh,
you
I
on your
love that.
birthday. And that was my birthday present this year or last year actually. But I have it's sitting
That's
on a
awesome.
table and I like, it's coveted. Like
Yeah.
it's
Wow.
that's
it's an
awesome.
art piece
Oh,
now.
thank you. Thank you for sharing your story
So
today.
wonderful. This
Oh
was
my God.
powerful.
I hope
I literally held my breath through like half of it. I was like,
Oh, you guys.
I hope this didn't overwhelm you or stress you out in any way and that you can
No, actually
maybe go
it's
for a walk
cathartic.
after this
hell
and
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Catharsis.
Yes.
feel through this and that maybe it's good you guys can sit down at dinner tonight or something and talk through stuff and just start
Yeah.
ripping
Yeah.
that
Well,
band.
it's rare
eh,
that I just get to just
yeah.
Yeah.
right, and talk
That's the
about
whole
it. I mean,
reason
Paul and I have talked about it ad nauseum to each other,
of
but,
course,
like, to
yeah.
just, like, sit with women and actually
Yeah.
just talk about it
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
it's therapy.
Well,
So,
maybe
Absolutely.
instead of every year, like, it bubbling up for each one of you, maybe you need to sit down on a dedicated day and with the family and
yeah.
be like, "We have an hour to talk about the fire," and that's it.
Wow.
I don't know.
Yes.
Just
Uh, I think that's actually a really
tackle
great
it
idea.
Yeah.
instead
I
instead of
also,
having it
Emily,
yeah.
I just had another thought of something that somebody did that was really kind for me, and
Uh-oh.
I'm going to talk about it because it was Emily.
Oh.
I got to come to Seattle a couple summers ago. I can't believe it's already been like a year and a half or whatever. It was like
Yeah.
for work, and it was like this wham bam, thank you, ma'am work trip. And Emily took me to like one of what was now my favorite, basically field trip I've ever been on in my entire life,
Oh.
where I recorded countless hours of salmon trying to swim upstream
Oh, wow. Oh,
at the
wow.
locks. And I have told every single person that I know about it. I sent those videos to my friends who were also now like engaged and want to know what happened to the salmon.
Yeah.
And
That's
she like
incredible.
I hadn't seen Emily, I hadn't seen you in years. And you were like, let's go, let's have
Yeah.
lunch. And I want to take you somewhere and show you this
So,
cool
so
thing while you're
cool.
here.
Yeah.
Hell
And
yeah.
it was like we hadn't seen it was like we picked right up where we left off, which was
Yeah.
insane.
Wow.
And I just got to see this like really cool thing that no one gets to see that doesn't live there.
It's
Um,
true. Yeah.
So freaking
Come to
cool.
Seattle. I'll
and
show
it
you
was
some
kind of
cool
life
shit.
changing,
Mm,
honestly. What's that?
Oh, that's fun. Life changing.
Yeah, it really was.
Animals
Like
will do
I
that for you.
One
well,
hundo.
not just that animal, you. I walked away from that and I was
You're the
like,
animal, Emily.
I was like, God, what? I'm so glad that I just got to have that. Like that
So
it,
cool.
we were talking earlier about like friendships and how like, you look back on people that you knew at a certain point and I'm so glad that we got to reconnect in
I
that because
know.
culinary school with Emily was a freaking blast, you
We had a
guys.
good
That's
time.
So
We
fun.
wow.
had a
You
good
knew the
time.
chef, Emily. That's amazing.
I
Yeah.
did.
Wow.
We
So
I
both used
did.
cool.
to be chefs, and then we were like, "Nope."
Yeah.
But you took those lessons and that knowledge and you continue to use it elsewhere, I'm sure?
Oh, I do apply those
Hell,
skills.
Pardon me.
Not like the knife skills or the actual cooking skills, but so many of the other skills like logistics and the mise en place, like the prep and everything
and
into
cleaning.
and the cleaning.
Ooh.
Every single day of my life do I apply that. My boyfriend
Uh-huh.
thinks I am crazy. I'm like, "Did you
Oh,
put that
'cause
in the
you
dishwasher? You
try.
didn't load that. Did you clean that?" I'm like, "The
Let's go,
kitchen
let's
has
go,
to be
let's go, let's go, let's go.
Yeah.
yeah, the kitchen
Yes,
has to
chef.
be the cleanest
Yes.
room in the house next to the
Yeah.
bathroom."
Amen.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm
Yeah.
with you.
Wow. Well, ladies, I've really thoroughly enjoyed this. This has been
Me
powerful
too.
stuff. Be the good, man.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much,
be the
both
good.
of you. Yeah, if you have any questions for Jen, please reach out to us. You can find us through our email at thatwasn'ttheplanpod@gmail.com or our website at thatwasn'ttheplan.com or on social media. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you, Jen. This was
Oh,
just so cool.
I thought of something. Sorry,
yes.
I'm blowing
No.
this in at the very last second. You thought of what I would say to someone. I would say if you see on the news that, or a family that is affected by a fire or something that has
Mm.
removed them from their home, to take inventory of their kids and just to go and collect a few things that they might need.
Hell
The
yeah.
seasonal wares, just a sweatshirt for the kids, anything that you can just put in a bag and drop off. And they will
Absolutely.
appreciate it more than you could ever even imagine. So
That's
I just wanted to
great.
say that as a
Absolutely.
last thought.
Be the good in
Y-
someone
y- You
else's
don't have
tragedy.
to,
Yeah.
right? You don't have to come at them with a suitcase of clothes, a couple of
No.
things,
Just
and
And
that
it
will be
doesn't
life
have to be
changing.
anybody you know either. Just,
No,
That's
no,
even better.
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's great.
yeah.
That's lovely advice. Thank you for sharing. And on that note, thank you for everybody listening. Please follow us, subscribe, and give us 5 stars. We like those 5 stars. Well,
We
and we'll
do.
talk to you next week.
Woo!
Okay, bye.
Bye, ladies.
Thanks for listening to That Wasn't the Plan. If you found it helpful or at least mildly entertaining, a quick rating, review, and a click on the subscribe button would be lovely. And it genuinely helps us. And if a friend comes to mind, please share. Until next time, bye.